Hey everyone, welcome back to a Doubleview update. Here with Farshad. We know everyone's asking about assays, other updates, and we're going to talk general market, coronavirus, and we're going to chat, of course, about Doubleview and where things are. Farshad, how are you?
Hi, Jason. Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Despite the past couple weeks and the craziness, and every day's a new day for everyone. So, but things are going all right. No crazy complaints that anyone else doesn't have. So, yeah,
Yes.
we're doing all right. So
Good. Good to hear that.
let's hop into it. So let's talk assays. It's all people are talking about. When's this update coming? What's happening? What's your kind of feeling on when Doubleview will be able to talk about assays? What's holding it back? That kind of stuff.
Yes. What we're doing right now, basically, as everyone else, we're eager to get the assays back and get them going. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for other reasons, coronavirus causes a little bit delayed. Labs are short manpower. They're working hard to get things done, and I like to be very optimistic that we're going to get it very soon. But we are at the mercy of the lab, and in the meantime, on our side, what we have to do is we're planning based on our assumptions of what we're going to get in the assays. We are putting plans for 2020 drilling program, and also getting other things done that they are related to regulatory bodies like assessment reports, work program that we've done in the past, and all the other things that we are covering. We're really, really busy. Believe it or not, we're extremely busy, and
Good.
unbelievable. That's why I'm saying, this little bit of delay in the assays getting, it was a good thing for us that we are trying to catch up. Still, we're not caught up with what we had to do, because this year I want to get the drilling started earlier than any other year. And this 2 weeks, of course, has been some other reasons that market was slow. People are going on spring break, and many of my contacts that I met them in Toronto, and they're really following us. Is they are gone on vacation, and so we have to wait for them to come back and get the ball rolling. It's been the reason I'm saying coronavirus was somehow not bad too, because at least I'm using this time to get our jobs done. And on the other side, it really burst that extra bubble in Dow and made things different for the new year.
Yeah.
I believe right now we're going to go into another era. This is about Doubleview. We're doing several things at the same time.
No, it's good. I mean, the slowdown, it's funny, a lot of companies are obviously slowing down as well. And, you guys are full steam ahead. You guys are busier than ever. So that's an interesting twist that I'm sure a lot of people didn't expect and, obviously aren't seeing in their own lives, and, probably a good reason for some of the slowdown. Like you said, the contacts you met, I mean, everyone's doing this 2 week kind of lockdown. They have kids at home now. They're kind of occupied on that front, or they're just not in the office, right? So I guess that's a big reason for the slowdown. But back to the assays. So the labs are delayed because of coronavirus, like you said. But
Yes.
again, I agree with you. I think it's great in some points that maybe we haven't gotten them yet, because obviously the market did take a tumble over the past 2 weeks, and it probably didn't matter what news you had. People needed cash, and I think that's a big thing. You saw gold fall, you saw everything fall, because people were struggling to buy toilet paper in supermarkets. So it's probably a mixture between good and bad, but definitely some good there with the delay, I guess, of just hopefully a few weeks, like you said. So that's awesome. And you said you guys are planning drilling as well. So do we want to talk about that at all? 2020 drilling
Yes.
program?
Yes, upcoming drilling program is based on what we have done in the last few years, and this latest results, hopefully when they come in, it's going to put a lot of light on this deposit, and we're going to follow up with what we've got with our previous partner and go on those drillings. But still, we want to have more aggressive drilling this year to get this going. The gold is really important deposit. Right now, we found out gold and palladium and cobalt are playing really a key component in this deposit. That's why we want to map it, we want to model it before we go. And it takes time. As I said, this has given us a very good opportunity to catch up with the knowledge that we have on the deposit and expand on it. I'm hoping that this year we're going to have the most aggressive drilling season that we've had on this project. And that takes a lot of preparation, beyond belief. Of course, I'm planning right now to go to the property maybe in next, soon as possible to go there. And we have a lot of prep to be done on the property before the drilling in the snow or whatever we have to do it. So that's what I'm planning as well.
Awesome. So I think it would be great, maybe in a future video before you go off, when you guys have more of an actual plan, we can do a video talking about, the real plans for the drilling, kind of timelines and things like that. And I think it'll be great for people. So, hey, that's exciting though. Most drilling possible you guys are going to be doing this year by the sounds of it. So that's fantastic.
Yes.
So cool. Well, awesome. I guess let's chat, market updates. Obviously a lot of people, they know the markets have, slowed down, but what's the market for mining and for, precious metals, but also, talking about copper and some of the, resources, obviously China back, I guess exporting not to full 100%, but still back to the supply chain. What's kind of your opinion on, the supply chain and also like kind of mining and, maybe the backlog and talking about that stuff?
Yes, I remember back in several years ago when and before the copper market got to be heat up and go to $3.10 and resource market getting hot. I am on LinkedIn. I'm very active on that. I was receiving a lot of connections. They were asking me for iron deposit, for copper deposits, for that kind of market movers or economy movers. Believe it or not, right now, since 2 weeks ago, I'm getting again the same vibe. Do you have iron? Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone with copper? It shows its sentiment that already China is getting prepared for that, and there is a big, huge shortage on that. On Northern Miners or mining.com, you can go, there are articles on that they're talking about the economy, the push that's going to go to resources. When everyone talks about it and when every analyst is looking at it, there is definitely something. I knew this is going to happen, that we're going to have this Dow going down. My estimate was 23,000. It's gone below that, and I believe it's going to go back up again. But it was based on what is worth to pay for Dow in general. And that's why I was wrong. And then after that, you got to have an economy. And this economy can be anything. Could be marijuana, it's done already. Technology, almost done. Every now and then we got some new ones coming. What is next left with 10 years lag behind it? Those are resources. Gold, silver, copper. All of these are going to be on demand because we do have a huge shortage in copper. We don't have the next discovery, our deposit, I should say. We have a porphyry. These porphyries are, in general, not about us, in general, they're low grade but huge tonnage. We're talking about these porphyries to be several billion tons, and you gotta have a footprint. Fortunately, we got one of them with a very good footprint. We have tested that. We haven't announced the next one. This is going to be another test on that IP, and it shows that what the size of this footprint is. I think not only the whole resources are going to be in the booming section, I hope we are on that as well, and we're going to see a huge boost of that boom in resource market. Right now, China is after copper, gold, silver, and all the other commodities. They're
Yeah.
working on it.
No, for sure. No, it's interesting to see, and yeah, mining. I mean, it's been lagging behind. Obviously, a little bit of bad timing, perhaps, with what's happened in the market. But like you said, I mean, a lot of things have fallen. It's weird. How do you balance, market correction versus coronavirus, right? Like, how much, of it, if it's an overreaction, is because of coronavirus, right? And so what's your opinion, I guess, more on just general market sense of where things going, what's next steps? Obviously a lot of things have happened even just over the past week, let alone the past 2 weeks. What's your kind of, I guess, opinion on where the market's heading? You obviously think it's going up, or it's going to go back to where it was before. What's kind of your idea of what's in store for the next month?
Okay, that's a good question.
Mhm.
Every crash that we've seen since September 11, H1N1, some of them are milder than the other ones, SARS and etc. They all had one thing in common: the market crashed. They had all of them had something else after that. This bounce on the bottom happening. Which ones were longer? I believe September 11 was the longest one because it wasn't going away. It wouldn't go away. We had to deal with it for 3-4 years, and still is on the back of our heads. H1N1 went away fast. Market corrected. We went. SARS or the others and the others. Thank God the market correction has happened because of this virus. And that tells you this virus is going to go away. I don't know. It could be 2 weeks from now. Someone comes in and says, "Oh, I got the antibody for it. I got the vaccine for it." Done. It could be a month from now. It could be, but general term, it cannot be more than a year. A year is going to be the max. But right now, I heard like 2-3 days ago, Monday actually, they are testing on the first one in the United States.
Mhm.
All the other countries, like Canada, even working on the vaccine. The moment is over, the market is going to start going up. But what is the basis going to go up? There should be a base. It doesn't just go up on its own. There should be some motive in there. That motive, I believe, strongly believe, is just resources. All the resources that we are in.
Oh, it's true, right? And I think resources is a big part of it. Obviously we'll see like there's a big backlog of stuff happening. A lot of factories, yeah, now there's exporting, reopening in China, but also a lot of factories are being converted into making, medical equipment, masks and other stuff. Giving you an example, even in Toronto, there's a Samsung, plant that was making plasma TVs that was converted into making masks, right? So kind of crazy. We'll see when that comes back. I mean, hey, people are still going to need a lot of the stuff where obviously copper is, and copper is in. Oil's taking a little bit of a drop, but we'll see what happens there. And I agree with you. I think it is a little bit shorter term. Keeping in mind China went through this big lockdown. There's so many people there, right? And they're starting to come back out of it. Yes, people are still wearing masks pretty much all the time. It's still the remnants there, but hey, if they're moving through it and they're as densely populated as it gets, right, you would assume that other places in the world would be able to kind of move through it as well. Obviously, North America putting in a lot of things recently to try and slow down the virus. And I agree with you. There's already people testing, vaccines, antivirals, you name it. And we'll see where that stuff gets. Part of me does believe that this might become, something like the flu shot where, really the people at risk are, 50-year-old plus, or really even older than that, right? 75, 80 years old plus, where you might turn 55 and you might end up getting, another shot where, like like the flu shot, you might end up getting something related to this. That's kind of how I think things are going. It's obviously speaking, we've chatted off camera, but I had the coronavirus right after PDAC. As crazy as that is, for someone who works from home, and that was, I'm thinking of like, that's the last time I've left my house in 2.5 weeks. But when I got it, obviously I'm mid-20s, kind of perfect person to get it, but it was 2 days of having something extremely related to the flu, difficulty breathing, extremely tired, fever. And I can understand why the older generation is worried about something like this, obviously, if they do get it. But it also talks for how contagious it is. For me, it wasn't like I was licking the handrails at PDAC, right? I shook a couple people's hands and I guess unlucky, but I also took the train there and back, so maybe there's something in between, but still a little bit crazy. I guess that's what makes it a little bit more real for people. They have celebrities that they know of, basketball players that have the virus, even though they're all going to be fine. No one really talks about the recovery. For me, I had it. I tested positive on the Friday of PDAC week.
Oh yes,
that was, so I don't know, call it like the 5th or something of March, but I've made a pretty full recovery now. I would say I'm back at 99%. I had a little bit of a lingering cough, but for me, obviously a lot of the people that I was with, I was like, hey, I got tested positive, go get tested, and they got tested negative. So it's kind of weird from that sense as well. I know that everyone's worried. Everyone thinks it's like someone with the virus is an atomic bomb walking into places, but it seems to be everyone else is kind of okay around me. I know that's not the general sense, but hey, it's nice to hear a recovery story every once in a while, right?
it is very important. I'd like to make a comment. I don't think this is scientific. I can make this scientific comment that, look, you are a sentiment of people getting healed. And it's going to be over at some time and some point. And that's where the businesses are going to start. But why should we wait for, to get around that point? We should be active right now, get ourselves prepared in the market for the business that we are, and think about those days. I believe it's going to be very soon. It's not going to be 10 years or 5 years after September 11th. It's going to be a few months. And then we're back at the business, and that's when everything is backlogged and everything is delayed. Now we're gonna see even overhyped in the market. That's what I believe.
Oh, hey, that's awesome. No, you're right. It's nice to hear recovery, and I agree with you. Who knows, how long this lockdown is going to be? Is it a couple weeks? Is it a month? We'll see what happens. But you're right. Things are going to be backlogged, and we're going to see where things get to. And I think we're close. I think vaccines are around the corner. From my understanding, it was a relatively speaking easy virus. Comparatively, at least that's what I've read. I'm no big science guy, though my dad is a big pharma dude. But they were saying it's relatively an easy virus. You're already seeing testing, like you said. So we'll see where markets go. I'm curious as to what happens in other resources, as well. But I think we're going to see a big mining boom, like you said. Big backlog. Manufacturing is going to come back quick, and now's a perfect time to be doing these videos as well. Everyone's sitting at home, has a lot of time on their hands, so it's nice to be able to interact with people, and make sure anyone watching this to join the Telegram. Feel free to ask any of us questions, whether it's about Doubleview or about coronavirus or market stuff. We still love to chat, and yeah, I think that was a great update, Farshad. Thanks for that.
Yes, I predicted that, not because I'm a very good analyst, not because I know a lot of things about the market, but I know there's a price for anything. I predicted that. Some people didn't like it. I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I knew this is going to happen. Somehow, something is going to cause this Dow to go down, and I think we're going to go to a big boom resource market, and we are actively following that. There are other things that we do around Doubleview right now we can't disclose, but we're working on a lot of angles for Doubleview. Hopefully soon they're going to materialize, and we can send them out to people and to let them know how active we've been during this time. We don't need to go and talk to people and face to face, interact with people. This is the best face to face I can get with someone. That's what's up. The rest of the time, we work hard, and hopefully this is going to be the best year for our shareholders.
No, that's awesome. It's awesome. No, I love doing these. I look forward to obviously chatting next week as well. And yeah, again, if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to ask. It seems like there's a definite, good future ahead for Doubleview, and we'll just be taking it a week by week, day by day, and going from there.
Thank you, Jason, for having me here. It was a pleasure that you're getting healed. You got healed, and you're sound and safe sitting here. I'm very pleased.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you guys next week.